Do you know there cannot be any relationship without leadership? Think about that for a minute. There must be principles that form leadership pivots in any relationship you endeavor in. I'll show you all those principles in this video, but before we get there, I'd like you to like this video and share it with as many friends of yours as possible. Now, one of the most beautiful texts in the Bible which I have loved in these many years of my life is the book of Amos. That book of Amos is loaded with so many wisdom, but you will not find it if you're not looking hard. But before we get there, I'm sure you like this video. And also please subscribe to this video so you get notifications each time I drop new videos like this one. This channel is Soar Up. Now, in case you're new here, I believe you have hit that subscribe button. If you've not, do it. Do it now. Okay, let me share with you those principles that must form the pivot. Trust me, if you apply them, you will get a good result. But before we get there, let's read the book of Amos, chapter 3. Hear this word the Lord has spoken against you, O people of Israel, against the whole family I brought up out of Egypt. You only have I chosen of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your sins. 3. Do two walk together unless they have agreed to do so? 4. Does a lion roar in the thicket when he has no prey? Does he growl in his den when he has caught nothing? 5. Does a bird fall into a trap on the ground when no snare has been set? Does a trap spring up from the earth when there is nothing to catch? If you observe very carefully, you will understand that in the verse 4 and verse 5 of the text which I just read, seems to illustrate something very, very deep. It said, does a lion growl in his den when he has caught nothing? Everything you do in life, something must be the precedent. And these three principles which I'm about to share with you are the precedents for any successful relationship. Number 1, agreement. So a young man walks up to you as a lady and tries to woo you. Most ladies, they get it wrong from the start. As much as his looks should be good, as much as he should have something doing for himself, building a life for himself, those are not the first thing that should check out. What you should ask yourself is, do I agree with this man? Perhaps you're in a position in your life, or you're in a place in your life where you think that building a relationship may not be the best thing for you. That's why you must ask yourself, do I agree with him? Now, agreement has to come in two levels. Agreement in decision and agreement in values. And the first decision you should consider bringing an agreement to is the decision to start. Is it even important for me to start a relationship now? Is that something I want to do right now? Am I in the best place where I could be doing this? Or do I have to push it for some other time? Now, this is where the difference comes. Unless you're thinking hard about agreement, especially in decisions, you would make a mistake. You don't start anything just because others have started it. You start it because you want to start it. Nobody starts to build a house just because his neighbor has started. You start to build when you have taken time to count your costs. So agreement in decision is where it all starts. Now, you would have to ask yourself as you go on, does he value the same things that you value? Now, this applies to both ends of the party, because the man would have to ask himself also, do I think that her value system agrees with my value system. Unless that is considered, that relationship is bound to fail. You know, there's nothing to rush there, because if you take your time, you get it right the first time. This is why back in the days when the ladies were asked for their hand in marriage, they usually said, "Give me time to pray about it." It was because they wanted time to consider whether they had agreement with this fellow. Now, the second thing that should form a pivot in your relationship is attraction. So from agreement, you go further into attraction. Attraction is never the first thing. It's usually the second phase that precedes the last phase. Why many leaders recommend for most couples to get married even when they don't know themselves very well is because they believe that if they can come to an agreement on that first decision and even agreement on their values, then other things can fall in place. With ample time spent together and with good resources spent together, there should be attraction. Attraction is one thing that should develop as you spend time together. Now, this is because you have already agreed on the decision of making a headway. Now, it's also in this time that the value system and the decision-making process, which you thought you had agreed with, will be tested. It's in this time that the man would know if the lady would jump ship if it goes dark around him. Now, it's important for him to know that because it surely would. That's a fact of life. There will come a time when it all looks dark and there seems to be no way out. It's also in this time that man can lose any form of attraction he had, and the lady also can lose her attraction. Also in this time that they put their resources together to create memories for themselves. Now, you should also know that it's in this time that their shortcomings are usually pointed out. And depending on the phase that they pick the shortcomings, whether it's in phase 1 or in phase 2, you hear something like this. There's a man that's been approaching me and I kind of like him, but I notice he doesn't like going to church. Or you hear the man this time around saying, there's a lady like that which I'm beginning to fall in love with her, but I notice that she is very dirty. The shortcomings that are picked in this period are a test to know whether they can go beyond that and still form bond together. The third phase, which is the phase of conviction, is where they have gone beyond the agreement and attraction, and now they are convinced, thoroughly convinced, that they have to be together. This phase of conviction is usually where most people also get it wrong. So while they have neglected the agreement and the attraction that they formed over the years, they seem to focus on the shortcomings. In a phase of conviction, this is where you're double sure. You're no longer second guessing yourself. You're sure you want to do this with this person, and that is how it stands. Now, altogether, these 3 phases should not last beyond 3 years. Believe me, you cannot possibly learn everything because this fellow or this lady has been living his or her life for very many years before you met them. So it's obvious you can't learn everything, but you should learn the value system and the decision-making process that would help you to form the attraction and form your conviction along the way. These are the 3 pillars or the 3 pivots that should form your relationship. And in case you're new to this channel, please I'd like you to hit that subscribe button and also hit the like button. It helps the algorithm to recommend this video for more people. Till I come your way next time. Peace.